Why hello, welcome to part 2 of my Mobile Legends tutorial. So one thing I realized is that you don't know how to auto attack. Not use your skills, which is okay, because when I first played League, my win rate was like low as fuck. Because I don't know how to use my computer, I don't know how to use my skills, and I don't know how to auto attack. So in ML, there's several key components. I'll tell you first about leveling order of abilities. So for abilities, typically we go damage, CC. Yeah, that's it. Like, okay, first thing, first priority that you always level up is your third skill, your out. So your third skill usually has the most impact in game and the highest cooldown. So level up your third skill when it comes up. The second thing you have to level up is your damage. So usually they'll just say like AoE or they just put damage. Level that up because it's really important. And you would typically take that at level 1, and at level 2 you will take your either your CC, your slash or heal, or buff. So any champion will either have any of these three, and that is the last skill that you're going to max, but you are still going to take it at level 2. The reason why we typically max this skill last is because, for example, CC means that you stun a champion or you will a champion, like I explained before. And when you do that, when you level up that skill, you stun that champion. But when you like level it up more, it doesn't increase the duration of, for example, a stun, but instead it increases the damage. Now the damage on stuns and stuff is usually pretty low as compared to your main damage ability. So your bread and butter is usually your damage abilities. For marksman, same order goes, but you will have to rely on your auto attacks as the game progresses. Regardless of any marksman that you play, or your auto attacks are your main source of damage late game. Early game, you will use your abilities more. So if you have no mana, fret not. Usually, it's still good to go in game. Sorry. Of course, in ML, of course, another thing that we have is the map. So if you see the map on the top left corner, right, the top upper left corner. Now, the map typically represents where your teammates are. So, example, right, we have three lanes, right? Top lane, which is the lane like on the left, the mid lane, which is a lane in between both lanes, and then right, bottom lane, which is the lane on the right. Now anything in between is considered the jungle, right? So the map shows you where your allies are, top, mid, bot, and also where your enemies are, like, to some extent. So for example, if someone sees the enemy or minions see your enemy on mid lane, you know that they're there. So if you ever need like your help, like, oh shit, where did Sophia go, right? Look at the map. You'll be able to tell from there. So always look at your map because your map is really important. Like if all the enemies go missing, they are probably sneaking off somewhere to like do Lord. Now Lord is really important. So why is Lord and Turtle important? You know those like really big monsters? So for the first 15 minutes or like 10 minutes you have the turtle. By killing the turtle you get experience and a buff, and experience buff and what else do you get? Gold. Yeah, gold. You get gold. So usually applies for one team member only. Now, Lord, on the other hand, when you kill Lord, Lord is a lot harder to kill and usually requires at least 2 or 3 people. At least 2 or 3 people. After you kill Lord, right? Lord is really hard to kill in general. It will charge down a lane and do massive damage to turrets and enemy champions. Which is why when you summon Lord, like we can't decide when the game is as a summon Lord. It just will randomly choose a lane to summon Lord in. We try to protect the Lord because if the Lord dies, then we die. But a lot of games have ended with just Lord, like Lord killing the turret, killing the Nexus because they couldn't kill the Lord because and it does such massive damage. Like I think you've seen in game. If you haven't, I will show you eventually. Also, there's buffs on the little red dots on the map. If you kill those jungle monsters, you get buffs. So do that. One thing I tend to notice is you tend to go really aggro, and when you start to lose health, one thing they do is you tend to run. Now, it does take some time for you to adjust to this, but eventually there will come a point of time and you will kind of have a gut instinct as to whether or not you will die and how to avoid dying. So for example, let's say I'm playing Eudora, okay, because she's the only champion I played with you so far, so I don't think you'll get any other champions. I'm playing Eudora, right? And let's say that I'm going, bot lane to farm, right? Then suddenly, two champions appear, right? And these two champions are like one comes from the top, one comes from the bottom, and I know I'm going to die. There's no way I can outrun this. I have no sums. I have nothing, and I know that I cannot outrun them, right? What you do is you don't run knowing that you're gonna die, hoping that you won't die because you usually will die. What you do in the situations, you use your mind and you think like, can I kill one of these champions easily? And usually the answer is yes. If you're smart enough, you'll be able to kill one of them. Sure, you will die, but you will take them one of them with you, which is good for the team and good for you because extra money, extra gold, extra cash, and it becomes like they get money, but you also get money off their death. So it becomes even. Yeah? So try to kill them if you're sure that you're gonna die. The second thing is if you're not sure that you're gonna die, run. Don't just run though. Use your abilities carefully and make sure that you've used them like if you play Layla, you have a slow. Most champions have some form of CC, like a stun or use it so that they can't catch up to you when you run. Usually most champions have one. And if you're a marksman, you usually have life steal. So when you attack someone, you get back health. If you're really, really fat, auto attack them as you run. We call it kiting. So kiting means, let's say the enemy is running towards you and you're here, right? You kite, which means that you auto attack them as you walk back. So you're dealing massive damage to them as they walk towards you. Now I've done this multiple times and usually ends in them dying or me dying but them losing a decent chunk of health, which is good because maybe one of your teammates can come and clean up for the kill later. So yes, don't just run and also don't play too defensive because playing aggressive and playing too defensive is both not too good. I would rather play too defensive than aggressive though, but just kind of gauge your abilities. Now for you, I usually recommend just getting to know one champion, which is what I usually do. Just get to know one champion, get to know them really intimately, get to know their abilities, what to build on them, and then from there you can branch out to other champions with similar skill sets. And you will roughly know what you like and what you don't like after playing a few times. It's okay to lose games at first. But for your games, I would recommend usually just trying to play more of a carry champion because in your level your teammates are usually really bad. Or you could play a support champion, but it's honestly up to you. A well-played champion usually can turn the tides of any match. Now, I generally prefer to play carry champions in normal games because usually my teammates are pretty bad and I like carrying from time to time. Carrying means that you get the most kills, you do the most damage, and usually you're the one that they are scared of. So but the other roles are equally as important. As I mentioned in the last video, tank is important because without tank you can kill anybody if he's a good tank. If it's not a good tank, then whatever. Support is important, mage is important, all of them are important. Okay? Just you take some time to get used to playing ML, but what's important is you don't just keep playing because you won't learn from that. So what I would really recommend is learning the skills, like in AI first, like just knowing the skills and then going to class. If you don't know anything, you can ask me. I might lose my temper, but I kind of understand the game more than you do, so